Hello everybody. I made a video last month about my friend who took his life. And in the video, I mentioned that I had my own struggles also. And since then, I've had so many people reach out to me and share their stories with what they were suffering from. And I think it helped both of us to hear that other people were struggling and dealing with things in life, and it made me think about wanting to just share my story with everyone to try to help anyone I can. I had an internal injury I wasn't aware that I had, and it was causing internal bleeding. I had lost over a third of the blood in my body. Luckily, it was curable. I was able to heal the injury, and the symptoms it was causing went away. A symptom of losing the blood was having anxiety. Anxiety affects how someone thinks. I didn't know what anxiety was, or that I had it at the time, because I never experienced it before in my life. I wasn't acting violent, and I didn't even yell, but I was getting upset and not being the same calm person I always was. I was worried about things that could harm my family. Anxiety is very real. It causes people to act completely different than they would without it. The worst part about it is it makes you believe you're reacting normally to things when you aren't. You are overreacting, but you don't know it. If you knew something was different about a loved one, that they weren't acting the same as they had their whole lives, you would be very concerned. And if that person was then diagnosed with having a curable illness, you would be so happy because the person would be okay and he would go back to being himself. Unfortunately, this is not what happened with me. People believed things that weren't true, that I was a bad person for what had happened. This was an example of stigma. Stigma is misconceptions of who someone is from not being educated about something. It can be stigma towards mental health, race, sexuality, or anything about someone that is not understood. People thought I was using my illness as an excuse for acting how I did with the anxiety, not understanding it was the cause of the anxiety. I was a good person my whole life, doing whatever I could to help others. To have people think you're someone you aren't because of an illness is one of the biggest nightmares I could have never imagined could ever happen. Stigma causes injustices. No one should be ashamed or embarrassed to speak up against stigma. I owe it to my daughter and my family to speak up against stigma. I owe it to the people who are watching this, who are being affected by stigma, to know they are not alone and what is happening to them is not right. Unless you have experienced stigma yourself, the pain and far-reaching consequences is almost unimaginable. Stigma is a monster that corrupts how people think and act towards others from lack of education and understanding. Suffering from symptoms of an illness are almost always something out of a person's control. To punish someone for an illness is stigma at its worst. Always know who you are. Don't let other people's wrong ideas about you influence how you feel about yourself. I have many great people in my life who are doing all they can to help me. These are people who have empathy and understanding and want to help my family. Some people tell me to stop fighting against stigma. I am not someone who backs down to injustice. My true friends tell me to keep advocating for what is right for my daughter and family by continuing to speak up that stigma is wrong, because it always is. Thank you to everyone for watching this. Life is not fair. I'm not looking for sympathy. I continue to live my life one day at a time, doing all I can to be the best person I can every day. I hope my story can help others not feel alone in their battles and give them strength to continue to fight. Thank you so much.